Okay, so we're going to get into a little bit of a coach's corner with Nationals. 2025 Nationals just happened in Texas, and so we're going to start watching everyone's matches but my own because that's cringy and I don't want to do it. I kind of know well, from what other people told me what I need to work on. So here's first up Troy going against the GOAT. Uh, what does it say? The man himself, Edobar. So we're going to watch this match. All right, Edibo's coming in with a hard thrusting style. Sapari's going to two hands, Maroto style. Troy coming in. He wanted to come in with his head, but I think Edibo coming up with two hands caused this flinch reaction right here, which is fine. I mean, it happens. So he gets shoved by Edo. Edo's coming in looking for that belt, and obviously looking to throw with that leg to do something. Okay. So here Edo's going for the Kakenage. And you can see Kakenage is a forward throw. Thankfully, Troy is able to catch himself. Edo's going to hop with it. We're going to roll it back a little bit. So Troy is able to catch himself right here. And Troy is going to hop sideways. And this is a counter that I don't believe I showed directly. Like, it's not something that I taught our guys at Heio Sumo, but it's something because I do this throw as well. Troy picked up on. So the counter to Kakenage, because Kakenage is a same thing with like Ushimata or Haraigoshi in Judo. It's a forward throw. You're taking them forward. So if somebody's trying to do Ushimata or in Sumo Kakenage, if they didn't get you with that first attempt and their leg is still in the air, if you hop to the side, now you're going to drag them to the ground, and that's exactly what happens. We're going to play back, and we're going to we're going to go a lot slower so you can see what happens here. Boom, and that just collapses. One more time. We're doing a good job keeping his balance, and off to the side. And he gets a W. So that's the heck of a win for Troy. Edo is no joke. Anybody who goes up against him, like odds are, as I say in the lottery, odds are you'll have a good time because odds are not in your favor that you're going to win. All right, Troy's second match. There we go. Let's look at the Tachiai a little bit. Would like to see, play back again. We're just going to slow it down. Slower. So Troy's hands are down here. And again, this is just going to be a critique of everyone's performance about what they're doing. I might even throw my own videos in. I didn't include them in this compilation, but I'll throw them in at the end. I'll record a separate and put addendum on there because I guess it's not fair if I do everyone and I don't critique myself. Come on, coach, you got to be able to critique yourself. So Troy likes to do the head tachiai. And so Hunter would be a little upset by seeing this because Troy's hands need to be up closer by his chin here. Because he's going to he should be spearing in with his head, and then with his hands, he should be pushing his opponent up. Now, I'm horrible with names, and I know this person wrestles out of Dark Circle, but I've never wrestled him, so I'm very bad with names. And I recognize their face, though. So Troy needs to be pushing up and spearing with his head, and that doesn't quite happen here. See his head gets turned and his hands are down, and he gets captured. The opponent does a good job of getting an underhook. He gets both hands inside, and now Troy's got his both arms are up, and his head's kind of down. Just a position he got caught in, which is fine. Um, Legs are back. He could. That's so here. His opponent has a bit more of like a staggered stance, more of a leg in front. Here, Troy has both legs behind, and he could have been snapped down at this point. His opponent could have pulled down on the head and still circled and would have been fine, even though his opponent's right here on the edge. Good ring sense by Troy. Good pushing him back. So I'm gonna there are some positives there. So right here, like the position's not optimal. Just he got caught. And right here, it's like, okay, he's caught. Now, another thing you can do, TJ does this a lot as well on me, is right here, Troy can, to help mitigate this a little bit, is bring his elbow down and apply downward pressure. Because the inside position is nice, but when you apply downward pressure on somebody, that really takes the power out of that arm and makes them reconsider having that inside position on you. They can still. It's always up to the debate. Like, is the inside position better or not? Depends. The Japanese prefer like watenage, the overarm throw, versus the shitatenage, the underarm throw. Simply because like with the underarm, you can get caught and stuff, and like this, where you can have your arm pinched down. But if you're pushing and you're trying to push your opponent out, um, there have been arguments that the inner position is better. But you could have, the outer position allows you to pull up on the person's hips as you're pushing forward. So there's an argument to be made for both. So I'm not going to say one position is superior to the other. It just goes on how you feel. If Troy didn't feel like, he was in control in this moment, then he should be pinching down, collapsing this arm, applying pressure, and making it so that his opponent does not feel like he has any strength there and might give up on that position and go for something else. But if Troy felt like he was in a good spot, then he's fine. Here, this is obviously not ideal for Troy, but he works with it. He's like he gets up to the edge, he's fighting, he's pushing his opponent back. Here, because Troy is he's not in the best position. He's basically his arms are up, his elbows are flared up, and his head's down. He is pushing forward, but he's not getting as much power as he could if he was in like a better position. If this was elbow was down, he was collapsing his opponent's arm. If he was fighting for the inside somehow, if he collapsed his opponent's arm and was doing some head fighting and tried to get his forehead on this side of his opponent's jaw, then he could fight to get his arm out and work a different way. Here we go. This is the position they were in. So he gets turned and then pushed out. So some positives in that match as well. We're going to go into Troy's third match. Okay. Because the playback is so slow. And here it was from a different angle. Okay, cool. Here's his third match in the lightweight division. And then a wrestler whose name I don't know. Okay, Hitachi again. And again, we'd like to see the hands up closer, about right here. So this hunch is good. He's going to come in. We want, the hit with the crown of the head, or not the crown up here, excuse me, the forehead, about so, and the hands need to come up because he's going to reach out and try to grab the belt immediately, and the hands need to be closer to the head simply because your arm and the hands are going to help hit at the same time and absorb this impact, and you can hit much harder. Right now, reaching for the belt, he's only going to take the impact in his neck, and that's dangerous because that's going to limit how many times you can do that style tachi. You can do it for a little while, but it's not something that's going to be good for the long term because you're going to get a neck injury because you're not protecting yourself. So that's kind of the problem there. So we'll work on that. He propped his opponent up. His opponent tried to do a head pull down. The opponent's grabbing onto the neck. Troy's grabbing on the neck as well. They're both wrestlers, so it's just something that they're used to. Nice spin around. Troy got out of that, and then just, here's this position here. Okay. Yeah, good ring sense, ring awareness from Troy. And we're going to stop the slow motion playback. It's causing problems. Speed. Normal. All right. There we go. Run it back. Okay. Good hit. Trying to push his opponent back. Again, without the hand on the chest. So Troy should probably watch. What I would have him do is watch Corbin's matches. Because Corbin does the head tachi very well, and you can see he walks his opponents right out because he stays in that pocket with the head and the hands in the arm, in the chest / armpit area. So here, his opponent's trying to slap down. Thankfully, Troy doing a very good job of keeping this leg saved him, having that leg and having that support structure saved him from being slapped down. Coming in, regaining balance. His opponent's moving, trying to get an underhook before it secures the head. Try to have some sort of a grip on his opponent. He's got the belt there. Good job circling, moving. And he tried to go with I think with a throw here. He just didn't. Yeah, the opponent slipped the hand off the head, and that's why the throw wasn't successful. And he's stepping behind him, but Troy doing a good job. Ring awareness. His opponent spins around and is just able to shuck him to the side. I mean, it's just, nothing I can really critique here other than it's like, okay, it just got, one of those moments where, just a quick second decision and a reaction, and just it just didn't go your way. So everything else, the only I would say, like, sumo was good, wrestling was good. Would like to see the tachi get a little crisper here. And I think had he gotten the inside position, he would have been a different outcome. Because here's more of a scramble. So, so with this match, there's going to be different angles. This is, I believe they were doing with TJ, because they were doing two rings at the same time. So sometimes they had a split screen, one match on the top, one on the bottom, and then you saw the commentator. So it was hard to tell what was going on because they were so tiny. Um, so in instances like that, we're just going to be going with this angle, which is the angle that my wife took from her perspective and viewpoint. Here we go. TJ coming in head, good, strong, and pushed out. Boom. Hands hit first, but that's fine. I personally don't have a problem with that. A lot of sumo wrestlers do it, the pros. Boom. They call it Moroto Tachiai for a reason. People do it, especially pusher thrusters like Abi. Come in. Little narrow. If I were to take just a tiny critique, I believe this is good sumo. Just the feet were a little narrow here, but other than that, I mean, he got the job done. So it's just like that's a very small critique, but other than that, the sumo was good. All right, second opponent for TJ. Good Tachi. Watching the feet. Yep, nice square. Good job moving. Nice. And here TJ is waiting. As he does this to me a lot. I like the belt throw. And after, 6 months of dealing with my crap, the guy's pretty much learned how to deal with me. So here he's waiting for. I mean, his opponent should recognize. Not that this is a bad position. It's just like this is what you are exposing yourself to. Is that if you don't have the other hand on the belt and you just have the one and you are extending your arm and TJ's already wrapped you up like this, you are asking for this. What's going to happen? This opponent's going to push into TJ. And TJ just feels it, and then he's going to switch his feet and he's going to go for it. Boom. Switches his feet, get the momentum going, get that pull, and then as his opponent comes forward, he twists his body and completes the kake. Completes the kotonage, the armbar throw. So good job on that, TJ. All right, first match against Corny. Corny's a tough day for anybody. Okay, so TJ's coming back a little. He's back from far from the line because he slips off a Corny. And that's where, and it just happens. Like he's going to have to deal with it. Not everything will go your way in a match. Corny's coming in this like kind of a scoop position where he just hops in a little bit and then he's going to react to TJ. He's going to duck under and he's going to scoop and get his arms on the inside. Because I think TJ wanted to do his Sapari game, but this is what ends up happening. So wraps up, trying to deal with it. TJ's not in the best position, so he's just going to make the most of what he can. Trying to throw Cornelius here, not a bad option. Corny hops completely around, keeping his balance. And TJ tries to throw again. And it's because of Corny's experience and his instincts saving him. And here we go. That was a very close match. Don't have a lot to say with that one. That was just dealing with the circumstances you were given. And again, it's just Corny gets a deep grip. You only got a few seconds to deal with it, so that's just how he, just how you end up reacting. So I'm not gonna critique too much. At the same time that light heavyweight or was happening, heavyweight was happening, and here's Corbin's first match. And they're letting them know, like, hey, it has to be both hands at the same time. And here you're going to see, like, a good example of a head touch I come in. And Corbin's going to bring his hands up and go right into the armpit. Boom. And just, like he's on rails, so. All right, TJ's next match. Good job. Head and hands come up at the same time. Boom. His opponent had decent forward momentum. So TJ's keeping his hands in. There you go. Little Osuke there. Probably Darius would say, if he was here, that rather than just this position, something with the elbow with the Osuke. Have just below the elbow, jam them up that way, straighten his arm out. But see, here's that double thing we were talking about. Yeah, TJ's still fighting, and as his opponent just happened to, I believe TJ would have won this exchange anyway, but as his opponent right here, his knee just happens to twist and give out right at that point. He also stepped out too, so there he is. So his foot goes over, and then his knee gives out, and he collapses. So TJ doing a good job. Right here, he locks up the arm, applying that forward pressure. His opponent tries to get in here on the belt, and then boom, good match. All right. This was the pivotal, in my humble opinion, the pivotal match for TJ to win a medal. Because he, having lost, he had to fight up, from the losers bracket, having that one loss. And Danny was going to decide, in my humble opinion, he had to go through Danny to get back and be in contention for a medal. So here we go. Danny coming up a little high. TJ coming forward. Boom. And just gets double insides on Danny. Well, it was one inside, one outside. I stand corrected. Danny getting that belt grip. Looks like he wanted to do a Yorikiri. Here's, boom. TJ's got one overhook, one underhook. And he's going to switch his hips and go to throw before Danny can really secure TJ's hips and stop him from moving. So in that transition space, TJ was quicker. Turns and gets the throw. Okay, we're going right over into Corbin's match. Boom. I didn't get the beginning of this, so it's going to be a weird transition. So in this, Corbin's doing, Hunter would probably want him to look up a little more, but Corbin's attempting to do his head touch eye. It's just that his opponent comes up and is strong and puts his hands right here on next to Corbin's shoulders and is able to push him up and get him out of his game, so Corbin can't come forward now. He pushes him right up, and now they have to wrestle. Boom! Good job. That was very close. Corbin having the better position here with just able to pull up with his Watanabe, get his opponent's hips up, and then turn. Okay. Good match. Yeah, no real critique there. Here is second match against Corny for TJ. I believe with this one, loser gets bronze. Corny getting into his headspace. One thing with the Nationals where I was a little confused by was like, all right, here we go. Better Tachi for TJ than the previous. Corny still, TJ was able to get one arm in. Corny still has more of a kind of reacting to what TJ did, trying to get both arms in. Was not successful, but good start. Corny trying to keep his hips back. TJ doing a good job here. Trying to throw Corny. Keep good head position. Keeping his forehead up there, causing discomfort for Cornelius. Crossing the feet here. We'll work on that. Good throw attempt. And then they both fall. It's going to be Mono-E. And this is what the judges saw. There's TJ's foot. There's Corny's knee. So that's the reason why they called it for TJ. Corny's knee touchdown. So from that angle, it's much more clear. And that was, so this is the, TJ has to, I think, beat Seth twice to get the gold, but either way, he's silver medalist right now. Seth trying to get both double insides. TJ able to secure an inside grip. Good job keeping his head in there. Seth is just very fluid when he moves. Yeah, I don't really have any criticism. It's just like, well, it's a lot of good throw attempts, and just having to react to those. In that moment, Seth doing a very good job of constantly being in motion, and something he has from his martial arts background. Being a striker, he has to stay loose when he moves, so that he stays loose when he grapples. And just constant motion, like he's throwing jabs and hooks at you, moving, and was able to get the W on that. So I don't think TJ did anything wrong per se in this match. It's just, you just get out wrestled, and it happens. But I think he did a good job reacting to what Seth was giving him, trying to keep his balance, trying to stay in it. But here's just like Watanage attempt after Watanage attempt, just boom, rapid fire. Like, here we go. Let's count them. And we got 1, and 2, and here's the third one. So it's just was what it was. Here we got Corbin on top right going against Jay Scriven. And Ladies match gets done first. Corbin launching into Jay. Jay just happens to turn him, get that inside grip, and right here just happens to get Corbin's side and keep Corbin from, because he got the inside grip and he threw the arm up like that. He was just able to get to Corbin's side and keep him from get his hips so they couldn't square up. And because of that, he was just able to throw him. And again, that's just something that happens in a match. I said I wouldn't say that Corbin did anything particularly wrong in this. It's just like, okay, Jay just turned, and this is just one of those things. Like to see him, if he possibly were to have kept his arm, maybe his right hand into the chest area here, kept in the pocket, and then as he got turned, clamp down here, square up, and just push back. That might have been a different outcome, but it's just, again, reacting to what you're given. All right, Corbin's last match. Nice hit. That's just a big fella that you're, when you're in heavyweight, like that's a good tachi right there. That's very good. It's just he was not able to push him anywhere. And the wrestler he's going against, whose name escapes me because again I'm bad with names, really loves this right inside position, sort of like yeah, what was the Hawaiian Yokozuna? Musashi Maru. Musashi Maru did this because he had a wrist injury, and towards the later part of his career, started to really work that inside position on people. And when you can become a specialist in it, you get really good at it. Corbin reacting as best he can. Can't get pushed back. His opponent's going to try something else, a different tactic, going to try to throw him. Corbin's still reacting. Keeping his head in, trying for that push out. And again, I think the only thing that probably could have helped him, but again, you're reacting as best you can. This is the first time probably Corbin's had an opponent who's done this to him, like had this strong of an underhook on him. Is if you some point, like this underhook is very deep, and he's doing his best he can to react to it. Right here, here's the opportunity to clamp down on that elbow and really like you're trying to do like a jiu-jitsu style submission. Really clamp on that elbow, bring that arm down so he can't cut, because this is where all his power is, trying to he's bringing his shoulder up. So if Corbin were to really circle around this elbow and collapse this arm, and then he could basically turn and throw hard with it, with a kotenage, and your opponent will move. You collapse the structure, make that arm come, make that elbow stay down. See, at this point, boom. Here it's not as strong. He's keeping it close to his body. That's to protect, from what I was describing. Somebody trying to do a kotenage. If he can keep it close to his body, he can protect his arm. So there he's doing a good job. But when he wants to use it, now he's going to lift up and use his shoulder and really get the power in the throw. Boom. Uses it to lift Corbin up, and there it goes. So that's just, Corbin had a good tachi. He's moving well, circling. It's just that, in practice, the only thing I would say is to have your opponents put you in this position, because this seemed like an unfamiliar position for Corbin to be in. A little bit of crossing the feet right here. Other than that, but it's just, he's just reacting to what his opponent's doing. Good job keeping his balance. But I would say just in practice going forward, have someone put you in this bad position here, and just feel your way out of it. Do different things like kick your opponent's ankle as he's trying to come forward. Like just boom, a good swift kick, even though you're being pushed back. With your right leg, kick him as he's walking forward, and just anything you could do to upset your opponent's rhythm and allow you to get into a better position, pummel out of it, whatever you can do. That's be my only critique. Like I think you did good sumo here, but it's just you were put into a position you hadn't been in before, and it's just you just got to feel your way out of it. Like what do you do? How do you react? And in sumo you only have a few seconds, so a few seconds of reaction time. All right, this is open weight. TJ is pretty tired at this point. They're both pusher thrusters coming in and patty cake. Boom, right here. This is what I want to see with Troy. This nice curve back, coming into the forehead, hands already up, and right into the chest. And his opponent just happened to get the better of TJ. It's an open lane match. TJ's tired as hell. Corbin versus Troy. Both coming in with head tachi. And just Corbin has the better one. Wing. Up they go. Another good match for Corbin. Straight out. And when his tachi is on, it's on. Boom. Right there it is. Stands his opponent up, walks him straight out. Second open weight match for TJ. He's already tired as hell. Hey. Gonna be a lot more Sapari work. His opponent doing a good job of thrusting, TJ reacting, and catches him with his legs back and his head down. Boom. Pulls him in. There it is. Textbook. Hitaki Komi. Slap down. For a second open weight match. It's just bad luck that he caught two heavyweights in a row. TJ's third match. And there he goes. Did a good job staying square. Opponent had the wrestling head grip. TJ trying to react to it. Good ring sense. It's just that his opponent was a little more fresh, a little stronger. Kept the center of the ring, forcing TJ to the edge, and eventually, yeah, that was going to be the outcome. All right. Here's Corbin again with somebody he had beaten in heavyweight. Looks like now this is their open weight match. Again, his opponent pushes him up. And just happened to turn him. Yep. And then crush out. I wouldn't say that there's anything he did necessarily wrong there. Just happened to get turned as he was trying to get a grip on the belt. His opponent felt it, and then it was just one of the things that can happen. Last match. Okay, with this one, Corbin turns his head and is going straight for the belt. I think if he'd done his Tachi, he would have been able to stand his opponent up. Trying to do a Kaburi Uri, but his hips aren't low enough. And just is what it is at that point. Let's go back and watch it again. So Tachi not his best of the day. And so that's my only critique of this match. If Tachi had come in, he probably could have stood his opponent up and walked him out. And right here, he's got him. He just has to get his hips a little lower with the Kaburi Uri, and he would have been able to hop him out versus getting turned. Okay, and we're back. So these are going to be my matches. I hate watching myself. All right, first match today. I believe this is with NC Sumo, North Carolina, Raijin. My opponent. Let's watch. Coming up good, capturing my arm. I'm in a bad position here. I would like to be more like him, more of a 45, but we're just going to deal with it. It's a good job with escape with him, right around the elbow, and he's very strong. Hence, he's pushing me back, and I'm like, crap. One thing I like about the arm doing the shoulder tachi is that at least I have a grip on my opponent's belt, and he does not have a grip of anything on me right now. But he is definitely pushing me backwards. He's in a much better position. I'm trying to push against him. You can see me flexing here. It's just not happening. He's a lot stronger than I am. So he's going to be pushing me back. You see my foot. Watch this leg. Watch it slide. I am being shoved back. So and trying to brace here for a second. Did not work. Switching feet. Doing a little dance there. My opponent's got Osuke on this arm, and he has an underhook. What's going to come in my favor a little bit is that I have this grip, and I'm going to try to do something with it. I take him to the left. He's commanding the center. He's got me. I'm basically just reacting at this point. Try to take him to the right, and then boom, take him to the left again. Left, right. For me, it'd be this is my right, left, and then right, because I'm just dancing on the edge because he's got me. And he just happened to overcommit right here. He's really, really leaning into me, forcing me to play the Tawara game. My foot's on it. I'm bracing myself. He's really, really, really trying. He wants this force out. badly. And had he snapped me down or turned me, he probably would have gotten me. My arm's jammed up, he's strong as hell, and I'm just reacting at this point. And here I happen to turn with my head. Where the head goes, the body goes. Lift up with my arm. Try to keep my foot flat. So no mono E. But that was a good match for my opponent. So, again, very strong. Second match. I knew he was going to do this. I was like, Gabe is going to pick me up and walk me out. I knew he was going to do this. I tried to prepare for it. I was like, but he just happened to get both arms deep in immediately. Watch this Tachi. My arms are too wide, and his are very, very inside. There we go. He's just like, boom. He gets both. I was going to let him have one with that left arm, but man, he got inside with that right arm and in deep, and I'm like, I'm done. I'm like, I knew you were going to walk me out. But I had head and shame. I talked about that for a month. I've watched my guy. I've talked to my guys about it, and I've watched his matches, and I was like, he likes picking people up now, and he's for sure going to do it against me, and of course he does. Here's my first ever match with Corey Morrison. Corey's a nice guy. Let's watch this. Boom. Oh, what am I doing there? And pivot. End up hitting the all applications. All right. Boom. Too nice. Double in again. I'm too wide. Corey's very strong. He tries for the throw counter, and he just happened to have his feet hit before I landed. This is not a good way to win, but it happens, unfortunately. Again, I'm not in a good position. Corey's in a much better position, and he's stronger than I am. Trying to turn here to throw him. He happens to hook my leg. Good counter to that. Tweaked my knee a little bit, trying to balance. He had me pretty good. And then I should have circled at this point right here. After I landed, I should have done a bit right here. I go forward. Definitely should have started circling and worked my way out of that. But here we go. Boom. This is what they saw. Right there. His toe's going to touch before I hit. There it is. Not a good way to win, but it is what it is. I think he was being nice at that point. Because if he had just dolphin dived and shot his legs back and landed on top of me, I mean, we're both in the same weight class. It would have been fine. Versus like later on, I have Big Daddy J land on me and knocked the wind out of me a little bit, but that was my fault. So not a good way to win. Was not happy with that. Wasn't happy with my performance at all. Other than open weight, middleweight was just pretty meh for me. I didn't feel like I did my sumo. I think this is Wisconsin Sunflower. Yeah, very good wrestler. I forget his name. So I'm gonna bounce off of him. Boom. He comes in hard, and he's coming in hard with the shoulder. I'm coming in with the shoulder. We hit, and he just happens to hit more squarely on my chest, and I literally, he's coming forward, and I bounce. Watch me bounce back. Right here. just shoves me back. He's got so much strength and forward momentum. I happen to grab on to his head like a doofus, but that's all I could get. And he's very into my chest, very squared. Crosses his feet here, but this is just, he's just reacting to a switch in momentum. Does a good job staying tight. Got his hand there. Good job. Does that break to break my hand off of his belt. Yank. Keeps me off. Stays in tight, hand and chest. Looking for the belt grip, not finding it. Finding it too late now. Because he's doing a very good job of keeping his hand in my chest and armpit and just propping me up, and I've got nothing. Trying to again shake him off. Left, right. And he's going to collapse on top of me and flatten me out. Very strong wrestler. Very good with the fundamentals here. Keep his hand on the chest. My stupid high school wrestling background, I can't ever shake. Right here, grabbing onto the head and doing nothing with it. But sometimes you can get a throw off that, but it did a very good job staying in tight with me. Keeping his hand in the chest. And he did that wonderful belt break right here, where he just props his elbow out and keeps my hand right off of his belt. Keep searching for it, just cannot find it. And by the time I get it, it's way too late because he's already A, pressing me back, and B, he's in a better position here. Right here, I've got no power in my arm at all. So that was it for me. Middleweight. Boom. Okay. So this is my open weight match with a very strong lightweight gentleman. I believe this is his first tournament ever. So Hakioi is called. I'm up first. Boom, there's my step. And my opponent, he reacted, but he did not take a step forward. So momentum is more, hopefully in my favor, but we'll see how it goes. Got my knee in. Going to try for a throw. He's very good. He's going to try as well. I'm hooking his leg. See if I can't get something out of that. Look at all the muscles on that dude. My arms are so skinny compared to his. He's a lightweight. Alright. Here I'm trying to stalk him down. I'd like to get the Yorikiri, but we'll see how it goes. He's got good ring sense. He's definitely working his way out of it. I'm like, no, back here. I had to be careful because what I hate is guys that are new to sumo and they have a strong wrestling background. You try to do Yorikiri and then they'll try to do like a suplex on you. And I absolutely despise losing that way. I'm like, nope. So you have to apply cautious pressure, which is what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to stalk him to the edge. My legs are definitely back right now. I should have one forward. Should definitely have one leg forward. And yeah, just more this staggered position here. This is a better position. So, but in the transition here, when you're circling, this is what sometimes happens. And he definitely, right here, if he'd have pulled down with his right, applied head pressure, and then pulled up with his left, I could have been thrown pretty easily. All he had to do was switch his legs real quick, If he switched his hips and pulled, that would have been an easy throw for him. And he would have gotten me. So I've already tried to throw him like 3 times. Well, twice anyway. Back here. One. Watanage attempt. Didn't work. Trip counter. Didn't work. Trying to do a shoulder throw attempt here to see if I can catch him off balance. That didn't work. So that's 3 throw attempts. And I'm like, all right, well, this guy's not being thrown. He's very good. So he's going to try to pummel in. And both of his feet are back. And because he's trying to pummel in, he's focusing now on my arm. So I'm going to kick his ankle and cause him to lose his balance. Boom, there it is. While both feet are back, this is a good opportunity to do it. My wife told me I wasn't allowed to kick in practice anymore because it was ticking the guys off. Getting kicked in the shin, they didn't like it. So I was like, all right, fine. Well, in tournament, I'm allowed to kick. So there it is. And this was a good kick too. It was like right here, bottom of the sole, nice sweep. Gets his leg out. And just as, like I said, he was playing with my arm, so he's thinking he could pummel in. Wham! There it is. And knee hits, hand hits, and that's all she wrote. All right, my second match, a heavyweight opponent. Because in open weight, you're going to face a heavyweight person. I'm old, so are my knees, so are my ankles. I don't have the luxury of being a young man to be more mobile than my heavyweights. What I try to do is just be quicker off the line, and then hopefully I can jam an arm and then do something with them. So here we go. Hakioi. Come up. I don't know why my hand came up like that, but it did. So that causes him to flinch. His hand had already come up anyway in reaction. So he's just going to come up straight up. He doesn't take a single step forward. So boom, there's 1 step, 2 step, 3 steps. By the time I'm on the belt, there we go. There's my 3rd step. So it's kind of a flinch reaction. Me launching myself at my opponent. So now he's already on the back foot. My right arm has his arm clamped down. So I'm tight. He's trying to do something in here, staying in tight with him. He's looking for a throw. The problem is that I'm here versus my other matches. My elbow's not flared out. He can get in a little bit, and he has, but because my elbow's not flared out, if it had been flared out more, is here he's very, his arm's strong. He's like, but he doesn't have enough room to work with. So I was like, he could turn me. That definitely could be a thing, but he needed to be further out to turn me. Right here, he doesn't have enough room to turn his hips to really work with. And all of the momentum from the Tachiai is kind of on my side here. Boom, clamping down, keeping my elbow in tight, sliding feet as I walk, trying to push him in. And here we go. Just going to get this force out. Tip of my toes, just scraping by. Not bad. Good match. Big Daddy J. Again, against heavyweight opponents, I just do the same. I just do my sumo. I'm gonna launch into J and see what I can do. What I should have done right here was not try to go for his belt, but was try to keep my hand inside his arm. Because I was just like, he's quick for a big guy. Boom. He comes up, gets a step on me, and I'm trying to. Nope, can't. He's being very nice and trying to hop me out, and then he's gonna push on my chest. My only critique would have been, not that it would have ended any differently, but that if I had kept my left hand in the crook of his elbow slash his bicep and only given him one hand to work with, but already he's in a better position here, so he's going to have a hand on my belt anyway. So sometimes with Darius, this happens, and I try to circle to the right, get my right hand on the belt, and while my left hand is keeping his right hand away from me. But it just didn't work out. Again, you just gotta everyone's got a plan, but in sumo everything happens so quickly. It's like you just have to kind of work with what you're given. Ah, there it is. Good match. Help the big man up. Good one. This strong kid, Park, I think was his last name. Don't know his first name, but I was like, oh yeah, look at all the muscle in his legs and arms, and he is a middleweight. What the hell? Good Tachi off of him. You can see my face immediately. I'm like, the fuck? So he's already so strong. There we go. He's already got a grip on me. I'm bracing right now. He's working me back. Finally get a grip on his belt. You can see the doyo move. It's like watch this thing shift. Boom, there it goes. The whole thing shifts. That's how much power he's pushing into me. And now I'm trying to throw him because my this time bracing serves another purpose. And like when somebody's trying to yorikiri you, it's like okay, well it's going to it's going to bring your hip to me on the side I want to throw with. So if I'm going to do watanage, I brace and I have my right leg for it because he's going to bring his hips to me, and I just have to turn. And hopefully I have enough room to do it in and I don't step out. That's the problem. So here. And unfortunately, I just did not quite get him good enough. Like his leg comes off ground, but he's able to recover. He takes a step back and just launches me in the air. Whee! Look at it. Well, so this match again, like my open weight matches, I feel better about because it's like okay, I don't feel like I made any really bad errors like I did in my middleweight matches. It's just you get out wrestled, and I'm all right with being out wrestled. That's fine. I'm all right with not being the strongest guy in the ring because you're not always going to be. You know, you just kind of have to react to what you're given, and sometimes it goes your way, and sometimes it doesn't. Punching the feet. Nice. Yeah, got me pretty good there. All right, so that's Coach's Corner for Nationals 2025. Me rambling. Hope you enjoyed watching.